What's up out there, YouTube? My name is Jesse and I'm back for another comic book video. And this, I think, is an interesting list. I will be doing the top 10 DC characters that did not start in the DC Comics books. Now, many of these characters have had a significant impact over the years, so these aren't just throwaway or secondary characters. Many of the characters that are on this list also served as the inspiration for Alan Moore's Watchmen. In fact, he was going to use the characters that are on this list, but DC decided to put them in the universe. So they came as the inspiration for the Watchmen, and I will point them out when we get to it. So let's start this list off with number 10.
Coming in at number 10 is Nightshade. Nightshade, Eva Eden, first appeared in Charleston Comics and Captain Atom number 82 in 1966. She has the ability to teleport by using shadows. She can make objects from shadows, and she can become a shadow herself. She also has the power of phasing, which she can phase through solid objects or avoid letting solid objects, such as projectiles, make contact with her.
Now, number 9 and number 8 are the only two Wildstorm characters that are on this list, and the only two to be presented in the 90s. Everyone else came in a lot earlier than these two.
Coming in at number 9, Midnighter. Midnighter, name unknown, first appeared in Wildstorm Comics. He was in Stormwatch Volume 2, number 4 in 1998. Interesting thing is, before the Wildstorm Comics became Wildstorm, they had an image logo on them at first. Midnighter has a battle precognition that, with the host of all the other skills that he possesses, makes him a very difficult opponent to take down. Coming in at number 8, Grifter. Grifter, Cole Cash, appeared in the Wildstorm Comics and Wildcats number 1 in 1992. He has a host of abilities, such as psionic powers like telepathy and telekinesis. He also has regeneration and longevity. Also, he's at the peak of human conditioning. He does have to be careful, though, because using these skills can put a terrible strain on his body. So he does have to watch out that he doesn't push himself too hard, because it could rupture blood vessels and leave him in a weakened state.
Now, number 7 and number 6 came into the comic books at about the same time. In fact, number 6, not only was she one of the very first females in the comic books, she was also the inspiration for the second Silk Spectre in the Watchmen comics, and the only character from Quality Comics that Alan Moore used.
Coming in at number 7, The Ray. The Ray, Happy Terrell, the original Ray, first appeared in Quality Comics in Smash Comics number 14 in 1940. He has the ability to make energy constructs, energy protections. He can fly, make illusions, invisibility. He can heal himself through light. He's virtually invulnerable. Later, after he had retired, his son would take over as the role of the Ray in the modern era. Coming in at number 6, Phantom Lady. Phantom Lady, Sandra Knight, was in Quality Comics and first appeared in Police Comics number 1 in 1941. As I said, she was the inspiration for the second Silk Spectre. That was the one who appeared in the main storyline because her mother was the first Silk Spectre. She has acrobatic skills, basic hand-to-hand combat, lock-picking abilities, and she can fly a single-engine airplane.
Now, number 5, number 4, and number 3 were all also inspirations for Watchmen characters. And it's interesting because number 5 came before 4 and 3, but 4 appeared in number 5's comic, and number 3 appeared in number 4's comic, and they all came out in the 60s.
Coming at number 5, Captain Atom. Captain Atom, Alan Atom, first appeared in Charleston Comics in Space Adventures number 33 in 1960. He was the inspiration behind Doc Manhattan. Some of the abilities of Captain Atom is he can fly at 20,000 to 100,000 miles per hour. He can produce atomic blasts, superhuman strength and durability, to become invisible. He has the ability to release a 100 megaton level explosion. He has enhanced senses, molecular regeneration, force field. He can become intangible. He can fly. Just a whole host of abilities. Coming in at number 4, the Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle, Ted Cord, first appeared in Charleston Comics in Captain Atom number 83 in 1966. Blue Beetle was also the inspiration for Night Owl. He is trained in acrobatics, basic hand-to-hand combat techniques, and has a hand in gadgetry, which he likes to make and use tech. Coming in at number 3, The Question. The Question, Vic Sage, first appeared in Charleston Comics and Blue Beetle, Volume 4, Number 1 in 1967. The Question would also serve as the inspiration for Rorschach. The Question is trained at investigation, being a journalist. He also has some basic hand-to-hand combat techniques and just comes up with some of the most bizarre conspiracy theories. Maybe? We're not quite sure if what he spouts is nonsense or not.
Now, number 2 and number 1, it was a little difficult to decide who I was going to place which one on these lists. I already knew that these two were my number 1 and 2, but I couldn't figure out which one to do it. So number 2 I chose is probably one of the most obnoxious characters in the DC universe. And number 1 was actually a cause of some controversy for the Fawcett publications. So here is number 2 and number 1.
Coming at number 2, Plastic Man. Plastic Man, Patrick O'Brien, was part of Quality Comics and first appeared in Police Comics number 1 in 1941. Yes, he is a very stretchy man. For a full list of his powers and abilities, see my DC Golden Age Heroes Part 2 list. He's listed on there, and I go into details of what he can do. Coming in at number 1, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, Billy Batson, first appeared in Fawcett Comics and Whiz Comics number 2 in 1940. Captain Marvel is known in DC Comics today as Shazam, sometimes known as Captain Marvel. When Captain Marvel first came out, he had a lot of success and was actually more popular than Superman at the time. DC actually sued Fawcett Comics because they said that Captain Marvel's powers were too much like Superman. the judge sided with DC. Fawcett had to stop printing them, and DC would later buy them. For the full list of Captain Marvel's powers and abilities, where I talk about the 6 blessings of the 6 gods that gave him his power, I go into greater detail on that list. So give that a look if you want to know what his powers are. Nothing like Superman, so I don't see how the judge was able to see that.
I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I always enjoy making them. If you did like this video, you can go ahead and give that like button a click. And if you have time, you can look at some of the other videos that I've made. I got a lot of top 10 lists and a couple of Golden Age Spotlight videos you might find interesting. So, if you are watching this video, until next time, I'll see you.